Hello, everybody, and welcome to Manifest Your Best Year 2026. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. Now, this is quite a maybe simple, maybe not so simple, depending on where you're at with building vision boards and whether or not you've got any experience with Canva or any of the other apps that we're going to use to help us today. Um, but whether or not you are experienced or not, it does not matter. I still think that there is benefit to be had in having a tutorial like this where things are kind of laid out again and simplified for you. Bear with me one moment while I get this open for you. And I'm just going to present that. Okay. So, hello everybody. I'm Jess. If you don't already know me, I'm a women's health coach and I support women through everything from metabolic nutrition through to mental health and anxiety type symptoms. We look at the woman as a whole, and any sort of health adversities that she is dealing with at that time. But today we're obviously talking about manifesting our best year and vision boards. So, welcome. This space is for slowing down, tuning in, and intentionally looking ahead to 2026, not from pressure, but from alignment. There's no hustle needed here. There's no rush. It's just all about curiosity and seeing where this will take you. What is this workshop? So, this is a different way to create a vision board. Some of us may struggle with the ability to actually create a vision for themselves, and that is absolutely fine. That doesn't mean anything about you. Everybody's different, and our brains all work differently. This isn't about forcing your goals or manifesting perfectly or creating the Pinterest perfect life. This is about clarity, intention, and identity. It's about reconnecting with what actually matters to you and allowing your vision to come from you and the version of you that you want to become. Why do vision boards actually work? There is science behind this. Our brains do respond to imagery and emotion far more powerfully than words alone. When we visualize repeatedly, we're training our brains to recognize opportunities, behaviors, and choices that align with that vision. You're not just dreaming, you're giving your nervous system a familiar picture of where you're heading and where you want to get to. This is a really important piece. If you cannot visualize or imagine or see where it is that you're hoping to get in life, you will not find the pathway to get there. In order to find the path and to keep taking those steps, you need to know what it is that you're heading to. Who are you becoming? What do you want for 2026? Who do you want to become? Now, have a wee think for a moment. Feel free to pause the video here and grab a piece of paper and really ask yourself, what do you want out of life? When you are 80 or 90 years old, will you look back and be happy with where you're at right now if things are going to stay the same? Or is there something that you think you would actually really like to do, but because you're scared and you're not sure how that can be possible for you, so because of that fear and that inability to see the path forward, you're going to stay where you are now. When you're 80 or 90 years old and you're thinking back on your life now, will you be happy with the choices that you are making, or do you need to make change? Behaviors stick when they're aligned with your identity. The version of you living in 2026 will think differently, respond differently, and care for herself differently. What is going to drastically change this year so that when you get to the end of the year, you're super proud of yourself, you're really happy with what you've created and what you've been able to succeed in, and you're truly happy and at peace with who you are, where you are, and what you've been able to achieve. Let's meet your 2026 best self. Take a moment, pause the video if you need to, and take out a piece of paper. Hopefully, you've got something in front of you. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. If you haven't got a piece of paper or a pen in front of you, then pause now and go and grab one because there is quite a lot to reflect on in this process. You may not, maybe you will start creating your vision board now, but you may still be in the phase of, I don't really know what I want. I'm not sure what I want to become. I don't know what I want to achieve. And that is totally fine. Don't leave today feeling let down or feeling disappointed that you haven't been able to create exactly what you'd hoped for, simply because you're not really too sure who you are. Remember, there's no pressure here. It's all about creating an awareness and starting to get curious about where you're heading and who you do want to be. How does your best self or your higher self, how does she move through her day? Maybe you'd like to close your eyes for a moment. Think about December 2026. Imagine yourself on New Year's Eve. What do you look like? What are you wearing? What does your body feel? Are you happy? Are you proud? Do you feel at peace? How do you move through your day? What do you do? What habits have you picked up? What does your energy feel like? Are you energetic and happy and vibrant, or are you just peaceful and calm? What is it you're striving for this year? It's not about perfecting life and making life the perfect picture or the perfect Instagram feed. It's about embodiment. How do you truly want to feel? Particularly if you are somebody who struggles with anxiety, or perhaps you're a young, you might not be young, but perhaps you are a mum to young children, and maybe you're not really too sure who you are anymore. And if that is you, a great place to start is to think back to your younger self, perhaps before society sort of creeps in. So, think back to your younger years, perhaps between the age of 12 and 15. What did you love before somebody told you what to love and what not to love? Did you like to dance? Did you like to paint? Did you love English at school and you love to write? Perhaps maybe you enjoyed, I don't know, bike riding, or, maybe you did river track trails or something. Like what did you do then that you don't do now that created that pure freedom and joy in your life? And how could you recreate or come up with things that will give you that feeling and take you back to those things that you loved? How can you bring that into your life now? If it is you though, and you are feeling really stuck in life and you do feel as though you're disconnected from yourself and your body, you don't know who you are, you don't know what you want, you know you're meant for big things, but you just can't figure it out, then please send me a message and I'd love to have a chat with you and help you through some of those blocks that you've got. The core life areas. Where your attention goes, your energy will flow. Where is your energy right now? So, start of 2026, you've got all these goals and all these aspirations for the year ahead. Where are you at right now? Where's your health and your energy sitting at this point? And where do you hope for it to be by the end of the year? What's your mind like? That little voice that rattles around in your head, telling you this, that, and the next thing, and constantly chattering with all sorts of different things that oftentimes are quite negative and make you feel quite low in energy. Where is your mind at right now? What's your emotional well-being feeling like at this point? What do your relationships look like in your relationship with your family? What's work like? Do you feel as though you've got a purpose or that you're contributing in some way? What are your finances and security like? How do you feel about yourself? Now, that's a really big one. And I think that if you have a journal already on the go, ask yourself that question. How do I feel about myself right now? And see what comes up. Where do you find joy? And how do you like to rest? As we slowly build the vision board, we're going to gently explore some of these areas. You might feel drawn to some things more than others, and that's fine. Obviously, depending on where you're at, where you're wanting to make change, where you're feeling stuck is going to vary from person to person. So you don't have to consider all of these things. It's just about sparking a little bit of thought into what it is that you actually do want to or need to change. Tune inward. As you think of your 2026 self, ask yourself, what do I want more of this year? What do you want more of this year? Do you want more connection time with your partner? Do you want more fun? Do you want to start something new? Is there a career change that you've been desperately wanting to give it a go? However, you're feeling as though because of life circumstances, you don't feel like you can. How could you take a few simple steps that might lead you gradually to where it is that you're hoping to go? What do you want more of in 2026? Have a wee think and write that down. What do you want less of? What are you doing now that you know does not serve you and does not serve your higher self? Maybe it's something that's blocking your progress. I know a lot of people, when they're thinking of their best self or when they're thinking of what they want to achieve over, in the new year for that year ahead, it's often for women around weight. Now, if you consider that question, if this is something that you've got on your goals list for 2026, is to address your weight, and you're thinking of what do I want less of, maybe you could think of things like, I want less of, maybe it's less fizzy drink, maybe it's less alcohol, maybe it's less negative thinking, maybe it's less negative self-talk in regards to how your inner voice is beating you up about how you look when you look in the mirror. Maybe you want less of judgment. Maybe you want less of, I don't know, maybe it's around energy. Maybe you've got kids and you desperately want to be able to run around with them. So maybe you want less exhaustion or less fatigue. What do you want less of? If you need more time, please pause the video and take your time to answer these. You don't have to follow along exactly at this pace. What would safety, ease, and confidence feel like in your body? If you imagine your higher self, she's had a great year. She's achieved all that she wanted to. You're feeling really proud of yourself. You're feeling safe. You're feeling calm. You're feeling at ease. You're feeling this energetic feeling in your body of thriving. What does that feel like in your body? Could you name the sensation? Could you name it as an emotion? What would safety, ease, and confidence feel like for you? There is no right or wrong answers here. Let the answers come without any judgment. Okay. How to build your vision board. So there's so many different ways you can create a vision board, and at the end of the day, you need to do what works best for you. Please don't feel any pressure to do it the way that I'm doing it. This is just how I've done it. And I can confidently say that over the last 3 or 4 years that I have been doing this, when I get to the end of the year, I'm always absolutely shocked at how much has been manifested into my life unconsciously. I'm not actively going out and seeking the things on my vision board. They just seem to slowly come into my world because that is what I am programming myself to see all of the time. Now, I choose to build my vision board on Canva and I use Pinterest for my images. If there's like Canva has got a set of images as well, but if you've got a particular thing in mind, I find it quite good to look on Pinterest, or there's another platform called Dupe, which has also got some really good pictures as well. And obviously, you've got to take into consideration the copyright. However, as long as these images are for you and you only, then you're allowed to use them. So if you can find what you're looking for on Canva, then that's great. But if you can't, then obviously you can screenshot your images offline. How I do it is I set my vision board as my background on my phone. And we all know how often we're picking up our phones. So we are actively putting our vision in our face multiple times a day. And I personally think that is why it works so well for me. But again, it's a personal thing. And if you choose to do a vision board with pictures and magazines and cutouts, and you're wanting to paste them onto a piece of paper and have it visually on your wall or something like that, then I still think that that's a great way to do it as well as doing a screen. However, today's masterclass is on how to do it for a vision desktop background or phone background. What to include? We want to know the outcome. We want to know where we're heading. We need that vision to be able to construct the path to get there. However, we also don't want to only focus on that and not be able to figure out the steps to get there and not be able to feel into the energy that comes with that version of us. So we need to connect to the emotion behind what it is we're trying to pull in. So instead of saying, okay, 2026 is the year that I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to lose 10 kg, and all I need to think about is that number 10 kgs less on the scale. That's not going to actually take you to the outcome that you're wanting to get to. You need to have some kind of connection to a bigger why, a bigger purpose, and a connection to a feeling. So instead of saying, I'm going to lose 10 kgs, you're going to focus on, I want to feel light and energetic and confident in my skin. And maybe it could be connecting it to a bigger why to, I want to feel light and energetic and confident so that I can model that to my children, or so that I can be the best version of myself for them. Or it could even be that you want to increase your chances of living longer so that you can see out their whole duration of life. If you are wanting to manifest in a new job, or your goal for the year is a new job, you need to think about purposeful, valued feelings associated with that. Maybe that's feelings of calm and that feeling of knowing that you're doing exactly what you want to be doing. It's about embodying the feeling, feeling the purpose, feeling the value in what you're doing, and feeling calm. When we add the feeling into it, it helps our brain move towards something rather than seeing it as a whole lot of pressure, a whole lot to do, and no way of getting there. Your brain is not really believing that you can do that. You need to attach the feeling to it and that inner knowing that you will bring this into fruition. So always connect to a feeling. Right, so let's jump on Canva. If you're following along with me right now, then open these web pages. We want Pinterest, Canva, and Dupe if you want to. So Dupe is another platform, a bit like Pinterest, I suppose, but it's images that you are allowed to use. They are not, some of them are paid, I believe, but there's a lot of free things on there that you can download. Um, and you are allowed to use those images. Okay, so we're going to bring it into daily life and make it real. This is my vision board for 2026. I will show you actually some of the other vision boards that I've had over the years and the ones that have already come into life. A vision board works when it's seen and when it's felt regularly. Place it somewhere you will notice it, which is why I personally think that doing it on a phone desktop is the best option, or wallpaper, I should say. So you want to place it somewhere that you notice it, or set it as your phone background. Even one small aligned action a day reinforces the identity that you're stepping into. Now, if you do have these big goals and you really desperately want to manifest them into fruition, but they seem like huge, big thing to achieve, and you can't see how you can actually take the steps to get there. Or maybe you're frozen in place and you know you've got all these things that you desperately want to do, but you feel as though you can't take any step forward. You've almost been frozen in place. Remember this saying, action leads to action and thinking leads to thinking. If you find yourself getting caught in a thinking trap, then remember that quote. Thinking leads to thinking. The more you think, the more you'll think, the more you'll think. If you take one small action every day, that one small action will then turn into the next action and the next action and the next action. And before you know it, you will have completed whatever it is that you've been procrastinating on and it's done. With that in mind, every single day, take into account that values guided action. What means something to you? What is the values that you hold in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve? What is the value attached to that? And how can you have values guided action every day? So, one tiny step in the right direction every day is all that it takes. Progress over perfection. Now, I too find myself in the perfectionist trap. And I think that everybody in today's society will find that when Instagram and the online world always kind of seems so perfect and so put together, their days are not perfect 24/7. They're still human, they're still doing a human experience, they're still struggling the same struggles and the different hardships. It's just that they're only sharing those perfect moments. I want you to remember that it's about progress, taking those little steps every day towards what it is you're trying to get to, and not about perfection and getting stuck in that perfection trap and that thinking leading to thinking and not actually taking action. You don't need to overhaul your entire life at once. You only need to take small incremental steps, one thing at a time. Change that's regulated, compassionate, and sustainable is far more powerful than a quick fix. This is about becoming that version of you that you're imagining, not just achieving it. It's about embodying and becoming that version of you. You don't have to do this alone. If this workshop has highlighted areas that you want support with, mindset, habits, emotional regulation, health or confidence, or anything that you feel as though has popped up for you over this workshop, then I work with women one-to-one to turn their vision into reality. There's no pressure. This is just an invitation that if it feels aligned for you, or you feel as though you want more support in actually actioning what it is that you're putting together today for your vision board, and you're not sure how to feel into what it is that you're hoping for or how to achieve those things because of your own mindset blocks, or lack of insight or information around how to actually lose the weight or, you know, achieve the things that you're wanting to achieve, then please reach out to me. I love having conversations on even just on Instagram chat. I'm happy to voice memo with you. I'm happy to have a conversation, and see whether or not there's anything that I can help you with. So please, please always reach out. And there obviously are other coaching programs that I run. So if you do want some more sort of one-on-one support, or you're looking for support in a certain area, then please let me know and I would love to help and support you. Righty ho. So you do not have to do this alone. Pause the video if you like, and you can hover over those QR codes. If you're ready for change and you want to do the free 15-minute consult, then you're welcome to go online. Excuse me. You're welcome to go online and book one of those. Appointments are limited at the moment, so if there is this particular time or day that you're hoping for and you can't see that online, then please message me. Just because there's no availability there doesn't mean that there's not. It's just that I restrict how much I allow access to online without having a conversation first. I would love to have a chat with you beforehand and get to know you and a little bit about what you're wanting support for and what you're wanting to do, or to achieve. And that is also free. So please message me. I love having a conversation. I've got the QR code there for the free raw treat. Some of you may already have access to that, but if you don't, you can jump on and grab some of those. And obviously the links to my Facebook and Instagram account, and email me if you've got any further questions, or like I said, send me a message on Instagram. But I am actually going to end this now. And jump back over to show you how to create your vision board, and then we can come back to this shortly. One moment. I'm going to show you. These are my vision boards. So we've got the 2026 here. We've got the 2025. That was last year. This was my 2024 and my 2023. As you can see, I've put all sorts of different things on there, from movement to mindfulness to, images that just create or evoke a feeling to me, because I very much so want to welcome in calm. I want to welcome in a regulated nervous system, and I want to be my best self so that I can then be that for my kids as well. Whether it be something that's inspiring you or something that you're wanting to bring in, whether that be money, movement, fun, joy. Maybe, I've got a lot of images of coffee or reading and that sort of thing. And it's about the feeling attached to that, because that to me signals a break, or a mindful moment, or, a bit of rest or some time for myself. So really tune into what it is that you're hoping to embody in regards to that feeling, or think about those goals and then think about images that then correlate with that. Right, so I'm going to open up another page and just show you what to do. Open up your Canva if you haven't already. This is Canva homepage here. This is my one. So you want to come up into, see this top left corner here where it says create with the wee plus sign. So we're going to click on there, and you're going to type in the top phone wallpaper. If you're wanting to do a desktop wallpaper for your computer, then obviously type in that. Or you can also do posters. So if you want to create your vision board in a poster, you can do exactly the same. Just choose the different size template. But today we're going to go phone wallpaper. So select that. And here it is here. So this is your phone wallpaper template. you can actually come through. I don't know if you can see there on the side on the left there, there's a lot of ready-made vision boards. Now that is great, and maybe you want to do that and use it as a template, but swap out the images, and you can totally 100% do that. Like, go for it. That's a great way to do it, to kind of take some of the thinking out of it. However, if you just copy and paste one that's already here and you put that on for yourself, you have to really ask yourself, is there any feeling attached to this? Is this actually something that resonates and feels right for me? Because if you're just copying and pasting it because it looks pretty, but it's got no meaning behind it, you're not going to manifest that into your life in 2026. It needs to hold meaning and feeling for you as an individual. Okay, so say one of my goals for 2026 is around weight. I would then type in the search box here on the left, I would say, what do we associate with weight? Maybe I want to do things like I want to choose, maybe I'll go low carb and I'll type in low carb. No, I won't, because we're in the wrong thing. So at the moment, if you look on the left there, see how we're in design? So that's where you've got all your ready-made templates. We want to go into elements. And when you click on the elements here on the left, you want to type in their low carb, and then it'll bring up hopefully some images. So we want to go into photos. So you go see all photos. Okay, so what do I feel as though seems relevant to me? I think that I really like avocados, and I think that something with avocados might be good. But I also like color. I want to bring vibrancy. I don't want it to be boring. If it's boring, I'm not going to be interested at all. So, okay. I don't know that anything really stands out to me there. So I'm going to get specific and I'm going to say avocado. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Cool. Okay, so here's the avocados. I'm having a wee look. I might go with something like this because I like how green that is. Okay, so then you can adjust the size. You just use these little tabs here, and you can make that whichever size that you want. So I'm going to go green avocado. Another thing that I want to do for my weight is I don't want it to be hard. I want to think about my nervous system, and I want to think about gentle movement for hormones and stickability. Okay. I don't think I can actually find time for a reformer. I'm not sure that I want to do reformer Pilates. I just want something that's going to work for me at home. So I'll have a wee look through and I think, okay, is there anything standing out to me? I quite like this one here. Okay. So then I will add her in here. I also I like to walk, so I want to add more movement. I want to be reminded to walk. And you might open some of these tabs and then think, actually, there's nothing there that seems like it kind of fits what I'm wanting. That's when we want to go over to Pinterest or Dupe, either one. And I want to come over to Pinterest and then, oh, I like the look of these. Okay. Find the image that speaks to you. So this is Pinterest here. Click on the image that you feel called or aligned with, screenshot it, and then once you've screenshotted the image, then come back into here, and then you want to upload it. So you come over to the left here and you go into your uploads, and then you go upload file. So I've already got a few images on here that I've already uploaded. So again, like, my goal is not to lose weight or anything like that this year, but I do want to maintain my health. Health is my highest value. So I do like to have things like, healthy images that I perceive to be healthy. I look at that and I think, okay, I want to be healthy like that. So that's where I'm at. Another thing that you want to consider around, we might actually delete that and use some of these other images that I've already got on here. So anything that you find that you feel called to on your Pinterest board or online or wherever you're getting your images from, screenshot them and then paste them onto your page. Another thing that I feel as though needs to be considered when you're thinking of losing weight is about that balance. So we're not just thinking about weight as in food and exercise. We're thinking about nervous system as well. We want to feel calm. We need to downregulate our nervous system so that we can reduce the stress hormone and stop holding unnecessary weight. So I think of things like this, I want to have quiet mornings in the weekend, where I can, sit in my pajamas and read a book and have a matcha or something. I want that in my life. And if you see here up the top, that image in the middle, it's now behind this image. All you need to do is you go position and then you just click move forward like that. You can obviously also change the size, like if you're wanting to still see all of it, you can change the side like that, and you can cut out the background as well if you want to have an overlay. But for now, we'll have it like this. So then you want to go back into your uploads again. Uh, okay. Another thing that has stood out to me in the past. Let's have a wee look here. What have we got? I wanted to read more. I wanted to read more and I wanted to read things that actually held some sort of, meaning. So I'm going to have books because that too signifies to me that I'm allowing time for myself for something that I choose to do for me. And if you are somebody who is a busy mum and you do have young children and you are in an overstimulated state often, having these calming images is going to also help. Um, not only achieve the goals, but it will help to remind you to come back to the here and the now. Maybe you want more, I don't know, maybe you and your partner are happy in your circumstances, but you feel as though you want to feel on the same page. Like maybe something's happening in your life and you feel as though you're a little bit disconnected, or maybe you want them to understand a little bit more, or perhaps you're both going through something hard. And if you're in my world, then maybe it is around infertility. Maybe you're desperately trying to have a child, or, maybe you are struggling postpartum, or maybe, there's so many things that we are dealing with all the time, but maybe connection with your partner means something to you. And so, therefore, you're going to choose an image like this where you remind yourself that you are supported. So, we'll pop that over there. You can also see in this image, there's things like, she's obviously got like a smartwatch, and that might be something that she tracks her health as well. So that then crosses over into that health and wellness thing. And by the end of the year, without even consciously knowing it, you may have purchased a watch just like this, because you've subconsciously programmed yourself for it. Another thing, I think a lot of people want to manifest money, and I think that it's always something that should be, I don't know, could be considered. And how that happens is obviously depending on the individual, and how that's manifested in is going to be different. But if you're calling it in, you're going to find it in some way. So I often have money. It is not my main priority, but it is something that would make things easier, and I would love to monetize certain things in my life. So I'm going to add money. So I'm reminded of that. Another thing I'm going to put on here is this beautiful space. Now, this to me feels like I want home. I want home to have a feeling. I want it to feel calm and inviting and earthy, and I want to create an ambience for myself in my environment. And that is what this signifies to me. The greenery in it as well makes me sort of feel as though I want more nature. I want more natural. I want to embody this feeling of home. So I am going to put that one there. I like the aesthetic of that too, obviously. So if I manifested in a house like this, then that would be great too. Um, Again, in alignment with that health, I want to eat more consciously. So I'm going to put something on here like strawberries and blueberries are my fruit of choice because I personally don't eat a lot of fruit. I only have berries. Um, and that is because of my metabolic nutrition training. That is just personally what I choose to do and what works for me. Here's an image similar to the one that cut me off before. This one, I want to embody more days at the beach. I'm going to pop her here and I'm going to position. See up here, we've got position, and I'm going to position her backwards so the fruit comes over top. Now, to me, this is freedom. This is beach. This is embodying health. This is, calm. I love the blue space, and this is definitely something that I want to call into my life. I'm actually going to delete that image and swap for this one. And you can delete and change and move around and alter things as much as you like until you get it looking how you want it to look. It is a process, doesn't have to be done overnight. You can add in certain quotes or different things as well. I've got quite a lot on this year in regards to my business and work, so I'm choosing to put in this image because to me, I'm thinking, okay, I want to write more. I want to remember to write in my journal. I want to do some more studying. I'm always learning, and I've got a lot of work. So that's I guess, my businesswoman image that I'm going to put in there. But I still feel as though that image creates a sense of organized safety. I want to have more time with me and my partner. I want to have slow mornings. So I'm going to have this one here. I love coffee. So that is having a space here in my vision board as well. I think we will position that fruit right behind and just have it peeking through those images. Sometimes you have to move the ones around it in and out too, just to be able to get how you want to. There we go. Again, I want to be healthy. I think this image here supports that activity. It reminds me that I want to move my body. Maybe I don't necessarily want to go out running or go to the gym, but I might want to do some walks, or I might want to park the car a little bit further away and have those few extra opportunities to walk a bit further. What else? I also really do want to create a feeling of like, I think when we're busy parents, particularly, we don't allow a lot of time for ourselves. And I think self-care is really important. So this is the extreme. I don't expect to sit on a rooftop balcony like this, but I like the fact that it's reminding me that it's okay to actually be you. It's okay to have slow mornings. It's okay to feel into that feeling of being able to care for yourself and enjoying the process. I love her energy. This just gives me it girl vibes. Okay. I would love to go on holiday this year. I would love a beach holiday. So I'm going to put this, and this is kind of like, I don't know, I guess my little reward at the end of a long year or something. I feel as though I want to manifest in that little bit of luxury. So I'm going to pop that there. Now, however many images you put on, like obviously you could fill it in just a few images and that might be all you need, and that's fine. This is your vision board for what works for you. Another thing here, I want to embody feminine business. Female empowerment. I want to remind myself that I can be me, I can be feminine, and I am going to manifest that life that I am dreaming of. What else might we want to manifest in? If you are somebody who is trying to have children, I would fill this page with images of pregnancy, happiness, embodiment, peace, calm, health, all of the things. I quite like this. I'm actually gonna see up here, we've got edit, BG, remove it, erase, and then all of the things up here. If you go BG, remove it, that's gonna remove the background of that image. And then you'll just have the silhouette, hopefully. Or maybe it's too. Okay, we're not going to do that because that's not going to allow me to do it. If the image is too close, the coloring is too close, then sometimes it won't work. But if you do want to remove the image on something, like remove the background on something, you can hit that button, BG remover, and it will remove the background for you. Okay. I also want to remind myself that my thoughts will create my reality. I want to consciously be aware at all times what I'm thinking and what I'm telling myself, um, and remind myself that it's actually me who has the power to create my reality. So I'm going to pop a quote in there that says, "Your thoughts create your reality." I really want to work on detoxing um, my system. So maybe I will put, I was debating, but we might put the lemons on here, but I think we'll just, you can crop and edit the image. If you just double tap on that, you can move the image around to wherever you want it to be. I want to try and have lemon water in the morning before I um, go for my walk and before my coffee. So I'm going to pop that in there. And I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. So as you can see, we've created this vision of sorts. Now, you might have a specific word that you want this year, and maybe that's something like growth. So we'll click, oops, here's the word here, but we'll just make that a little bit bigger. And I'm also going to go to effects. If you go to effects, go to background, you can actually add in a background color on that word so that it does stand out on your thing. So then you can go growth. So growth is going to be part of what you're hoping for this year. You can click these three dots and go duplicate and then move that down here. And maybe another word might be acceptance. This is the year that you're going to accept people for what they are and who they are, accept that they are doing the best they can with the knowledge that they have, accept that your parents did the best they could with the knowledge they had, accept that, what else might you be accepting? Accept that you are in this stage of life right now, but how can you make that stage amazing? How can you switch the mindset on it? If you are somebody that's struggling, you're waking up every day and you're like, oh my God, I'm just so tired. You're instantly in that kind of mindset of negativity. How can we accept our circumstances for what they are, but take back control of what we can in that moment to make things better for us? What might another word be? Maybe just health, like really tap into those values. Health is a main value this year. Let's pop health in there. Now you can change the coloring and things to suit. Like maybe if I go into the color for actually we need to go into effects to change the background color. If we go into our effects and we might go in here, something I like to do is if you go to the pick a color symbol here, hover over something on your vision board. So keep it aesthetically pleasing. Like, I'm not sure that that's the right green. Let's go a bit lighter. No. We want it to kind of like match in with what we've got going on. So if we do that and then maybe change your um that, and then you can then change all of them. So you want the effect. It's the effect that you need to change for the background, and then we'll change the type color as well in a moment. But if we change the effect on here, we'll do the green. So it's like avocado green. Let's change our writing to white. And you can change the font. Maybe we'll make that bold and then we'll go change all. And we can make that bold and bold, but you might want to have like a different font. Maybe you kind of, I don't know, like something a little bit. Maybe we could make it. That, well, it's honestly so many fonts. We'll try something like this, perhaps, if we change all of them, because it kind of looks a little bit like the font that we're using over here, and we'll take that bold off. Yeah, so you can see you can add anything in there. Maybe you want to add in some other images as well, or some different quotes, or perhaps you want to add in some different elements. If you come over here into the element tab, you can put shapes and graphics and animations, frames in there. Like you might want to put, I don't know, like a heart here, and you might want to put a photo of like, I don't know, your husband or your kids or whatever. Can we do? I'll do a photo of my family. And all you do is you just hover over the frame like that, and then you can double tap on it to double tap to move it around. But your family might be one of your biggest goals and aspirations, and you want your family to be at the forefront of your vision board. Maybe you would like, what else could we add on here? Um, no, maybe we could put a photo of um, something you're proud of, even maybe. I'm gonna put, I don't know that this really goes with our theme of what we're doing, but for me, maybe I would put, let's not do that because that looks silly. Something that still aligns like us at the beach, maybe. Because that's then reinforcing that desire to have the calm and the beach in our future, like in that year, um, but also including people that I love. So that's that. If you've got any further questions around how to navigate this or how to put it together, or how to even go through and feel into all of the different things that I've talked about, all the questions, really feeling into who you want to be, how you're going to get there, what you want to feel. There's so much work to be done and to have, to really think about and to create an awareness around. But if you are striving to actually succeed and achieve the goals this year, maybe in the past you've set goals and they've not come into fruition, but you haven't really known, you know the outcome you want, but you don't know how to get there, then that is the work that I do with my clients. And this is a starting place for you, to be able to bring in your best life. Just going to bring this page up again. Again, if you are wanting to work with me in a closer, more one-on-one situation where I can help you individually and with your own personal struggles and your own personal goals and desires and outcomes, then please message me and let's have a chat. If you've enjoyed this, there will be some other tutorials to come. I will attach on the page, probably below the video somewhere, I will attach a PDF with all of those questions. So if you decide that you've watched it all through, but then you're still not really too sure, so you want to go back and reflect on all of the different questions and try and figure out who it is you want to be and how you want to be this year, then go download that, fill it in, or write it in your journal. Get curious, really think into who you want to be, what you want to achieve, and just know that you can do it and you can get there. And confidence is something that you can slowly build like a muscle. You don't go to the gym and expect to have the muscles and have the weight gone and have all of the things straight away. It's a process, and it's the same with our thinking. We need to slowly keep noticing, being aware, slowly start to make changes and watch it happen and unfold slowly. It's all a process. There's never an end to anything. Obviously, in life, we have an end. But when you start something, there's never really an end. You finish something and then the next thing comes. You finish something, then the next thing comes. So I think sometimes we get stuck in that mindset of, well, when this is finished or when I've got this thing, I'll be happy or I will have achieved it and that's it, done, finished. But life carries on. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be things that we're striving for. There's always going to be something new that we want to try and improve on or bring into our world. So I hope that today has been informative and that you've gained even just one thing from the tutorial. And if you have any further questions, please send me a message and I would love to help you. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you in another workshop. See ya.